the carved bone face on a flask, St. George's half cheek in a brooch, aye, and in a brooch of lead, aye, and worn in the cap of a tooth drawer, and now forward, for we have put thee in countenance. You have put me out of countenance. False. We have given thee faces, but you have outfaced them all. And thou wert a lion, we would do so. Therefore, as he is an ass, let him go, and so adieu, sweet Jude. Nay, why dost thou stay for the latter end of his name? For the ass to the Jude, give it him, Judas, away. This is not generous, not gentle, not humble. A light for Monsieur Judas, it grows dark, he may stumble. Alas, poor Maccabeus, how hath he been baited? Hide thy head, Achilles, here comes Hector in arms. Though my mocks come home by me, I will now be merry. Hector was but a Trojan in respect of this. But is this Hector? I think Hector will not so clean timbered. His leg is too big for Hector's, more calf certain. No, he is best endued in the small. This cannot be Hector. He's a god or a painter, for he makes faces. The omnipotent Mars of lances, the Almighty, gave Hector a gift. A gilt nutmeg. A lemon, stuck with cloves. No cloven. Peace. The omnipotent Mars of lances, the Almighty, gave Hector a gift, the heir of Ilion, a man so breathed that certain he would fight, yea, from morn till night, out of his pavilion. I am that flower, that mint, that columbine. Sweet Lord Longaville, rein thy tongue. I must rather give it the rein, for it runs against Hector. Aye, and Hector's a greyhound. The sweet war man is dead and rotten. Sweet shucks, beat not the bones of the buried, when he breathed as he was a man. But I will forward with my device. Sweet royalty, bestow on me the sense of hearing. Speak, brave Hector, we are much delighted. I do adore thy sweet grace's slipper. Loves her by the foot, he may not by the yard. This Hector for surmounted Hannibal, the party is gone. Fellow Hector, she is gone. She is 2 months on her way. What meanest thou? Faith, unless you play the honest Trojan, the poor wench is cast away. She's quick. The child brags in her belly already. 'Tis yours. Dost thou infaminize me among potentates? Thou shalt die. Then shall Hector be whipped for Jacinetta, that is quick by him, and hanged for Pompey, that is dead by him. Most rare Pompey, renowned Pompey, greater than great, 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 great Pompey, Pompey the huge. Hector trembles. Pompey is moved. More 80s, more 80s. Stir them on, stir them on. Hector will challenge him, aye, if he have no more man's blood in his belly than will sup a flea. By the North Pole I do challenge thee. I will not fight with a pole like a northern man. I'll slash. I'll do it by the sword. I bepray you, let me borrow my arms again. Room for the incensed worthies. I'll do it in my shirt, most resolute Pompey. Master, let me take your buttonhole lower. Do you not see Pompey is uncasing for the combat? What mean you? You will lose your reputation. Gentlemen and soldiers, pardon me. I will not combat in my shirt. You may not deny it. Pompey hath made the challenge. Sweet bloods, I both may and will. What reason have you for it? The naked truth of it is, I have no shirt. I go woolward for penance. True, and it was enjoined him in Rome for want of linen. Since when, I'll be sworn, he wore none but a dishclout of jaquinettas, and that he wears next his heart for a favor. God save you, madam. Welcome, my God, but that thou interruptest our merriment. I'm sorry, for the news I bring is heavy in my tongue. The king, your father, dead for my life. Even so my tale is told. Were these away, the scene begins to cloud. For mine own part I breathe free breath. I have seen the day of wrong through the little hole of discretion, and I will right myself like a soldier. How fares your majesty? Boy, yet prepare, I will away tonight. Madam, not so, I do beseech you stay. Prepare, I say. I thank you, gracious lords, for all your fair endeavours, and entreat out of a new sad soul that you vouchsafe in your rich wisdom to execute or hide the liberal opposition of our spirits. If over boldly we have borne ourselves in the converse of breath, your gentleness was guilty of it. Farewell, worthy lord, a heavy heart bears not a humble tongue. Excuse me so coming too short of thanks for my great suit so easily obtained. The extreme parts of time extremely forms all causes to the purpose of his speed, and often at his very loose decides at which long process could not arbitrate. And though the morning brow of progeny forbid the smiling courtesy of love, the holy suit which fain it would convince, yet since love's argument was first on foot, let not the cloud of sorrow jostle it from what it proposed, since to wail friends lost is not by much so wholesome profitable as to rejoice at friends but newly found. I understand you not, my griefs are double. Honest, plain words best pierce the ear of grief. And by these badges understand the king. For your fair sakes have we neglected time, played foul play with our oaths. Your beauty, ladies, hath much deformed us, fashioning our humours even to the opposed end of our intents. And what in us hath seemed ridiculous, and love is full of unbefitting strains, all wanton as a child skipping in vain, formed by the eye, and therefore, like the eye, full of strange shapes, of habits, and of forms varying in subjects, as the eye doth roll to every varied object in his glance, which party-coated presence of loose love put on by us, if in your heavenly eyes have misbecomed our oaths and gravities, those heavenly eyes that look into these faults suggested us to make. Therefore, ladies, our love being yours, the error that love makes is likewise yours. We to ourselves prove false, by being once false forever to be true, to those that make us both, fair ladies, you. And even that falsehood in itself a sin, thus purifies itself and turns to grace. We have received your letters full of love, your favors, the ambassadors of love, and in our maiden council rated them at courtship, pleasant jest and courtesy, as bombast and as lining to the time. But more devout than this in our respects have we not been, and therefore met your loves in their own fashion like a merriment. Our letters, madam, showed much more than jest. So did our looks. We did not quote them so. Now at the last minute of the hour grant us your loves. A time, methinks, too short to make a world without end bargain in. No, no, my lord, your grace is perjured much, full of dear guiltiness, and therefore this. If for my love, as there is no such cause, you will do aught, this shall you do for me. Your oath I will not trust, but go with speed to some forlorn and naked hermitage, remote from all the pleasures of the world. Their stay until the 12 celestial signs have brought about the annual reckoning. If this austere insociable life change not your offer made in heat of blood, if frosts and fasts, hard lodging, and thin weeds nip not the gaudy blossoms of your love, but that it bears this trial and last love, then at the expiration of the year come challenge me by these deserts, and by this virgin palm now kissing thine, I will be thine. Until that instant shut my woeful self up in a mourning house, raining the tears of lamentation for the remembrance of my father's death. If this thou do deny, let our hands part, neither entitled in the other's heart. If this, or more than this, I would deny, to flatter up these powers of mine with rest, the sudden hand of death close up mine eye. Hence, hermit, then, my heart is in thy breast. But what to me, my love? But what to me? A wife, a beard, fair health, and honesty. With threefold love I wish you all these three. Oh, shall I say I thank you, gentle wife? Not so, my lord. A 12-month and a day I'll mark no word that smooth-faced wooers say. Come, when the king doth to my lady come, then if I have much love, I'll give you some. I'll serve thee true and faithfully till then. Yet swear not, lest you be forsworn again. What says Maria? At the 12 months' end, I'll change my black gown for a faithful friend. I'll stay with patience, but the time is long. The like are you, few taller are so young. Studies, my lady. Mistress, look on me. Behold the window of my heart, mine eye. What humble suit attends thy answer there? Impose some service on me for thy love. Oft have I heard of you, my lord Brown, before I saw you. And the world's large tongue proclaims you for a man replete with mocks, full of comparisons and wounding flouts, which you on all estates will execute that lie within the mercy of your wit. To weed this wormwood from your fruitful brain, and therewithal to win me, if you please, without the which I am not to be won. You shall this 12-month term from day to day visit the speechless sick, and still converse with groaning wretches, and your task shall be with all the fierce endeavor of your wit to enforce that painted impotent to smile, to move wild laughter in the throat of death. It cannot be. It is impossible. Mirth cannot move a soul in agony. Why, that's the way to choke a gibing spirit, whose influence is begot of that loose grace, which shallow laughing hearers give to fools. A jest's prosperity lies in the ear of him that hears it, never in the tongue of him that makes it. Then if sickly ears, deft with the clamors of their own dear groans, will hear your idle scorns, continue then, and I will have you in that fault withal. But if they will not, throw away that spirit, and I shall find you empty of that fault, rightful, joyful of your reformation. A 12-month? Well, befall. What will befall? I'll just a 12-month in an hospital. Aye, sweet my lord, and so I take my leave. No, madam, we will bring you on your way. Our wooing doth not end like an old play. Jack hath not Jill, These ladies' courtesy might well have made our sport a comedy. Come, sir, at once a 12-month and a day, and then 'twill end. That's too long for a play. Sweet Majesty, vouchsafe me. Was not that Hector, the worthy knight of Troy? I will kiss thy royal finger and take leave. I am a votary. I have vowed to Jaquenetta to hold the plough for her sweet love 3 years. But most esteemed greatness, will you hear the dialogue that the 2 learned men have compiled in praise of the owl and the cuckoo? It should have followed in the end of our show. Call them forth quickly, we will do so. Hola, approach. This side is Heem's winter, this Ver, the spring, the one maintained by the owl, the other by the cuckoo. Ver begin. When daisies pied and violets blue, and lady smocks all silver white, and cuckoo buds of yellow hue, do paint the meadows with delight. The cuckoo then on every tree mocks married men, for thus sings he, cuckoo, 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 a word of fear unpleasing to a married ear. When shepherds pipe on oaten straws, and merry larks are ploughmen's clocks, when turtles tread in rocks and daws, and maidens bleach their summer smocks. The cuckoo then on every tree mocks married men, for thus sings he, cuckoo, 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 a word of fear unpleasing to a married ear. When icicle hangs by the wall, and Dick the shepherd blows his nail, and Tom bears 2 logs into the hall, and milk comes frozen home and pale. When blood is nipped, and ways be foul, then nightly sings the staring owl, to whit, to who, a merry note, while greasy Joan doth keel the pot. When all aloud the wind doth blow, and coughing drowns the parson's song, and birds sit brooding in the snow, and Marion's nose looks red and raw, when roasted crab hiss in the bowl, then nightly sings the staring owl, to whit, to who, a merry note, while greasy Joan doth keel the pot. The words of Mercury are harsh after the songs of Apollo. You that way, we this way.